What's up, everyone, and welcome to the round 2 back 9 here at the 2022 Las Vegas Challenge. We have arrived at the first stop of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. My name is Mitch Phillips. Joining me is Nathan Queen. Talk to me a little about the front 9.
Yeah, the front 9, we had two guys keep it clean, both at 500 through that front, and a couple bogeys from the other players, and a triple from Adam, so that was a little rough there.
Yeah, Adam off to a rough start, but really was able to get that momentum going and kind of turn the round. Excited to see how he's going to continue that here on the back 9. Like you said, a couple players at 5, and just looking to start riding that ship, find himself under par.
Yeah, Ricky at 3 down, and then Adam, like we said, fighting back now with 3 birdies to finish that front 9. Chris Dickerson maintaining the lead at the moment. You've got Peter Lunde making the move. I'm sure I said that wrong. I apologize.
Yeah, it was Petter Lunde, and then Drew Gibson going 7 down through 9. So really making a charge here on the second day. Talk us through hole 10, Nathan.
Yeah, hole 10, 721 feet. This is a new tee placement. We've moved from the cart path over on the right side all the way across the fairway to the left, giving you a pretty tight gap to hit off of the tee. You can push out 400, 450 feet to have your best chance to approach the green for a birdie. You do have a ball golf green on the left side that's OB, and then the cart path that comes into play pretty quickly as it slopes down to the right.
Yeah, and this one, another one, just this gap off the tee, just it kind of, it doesn't really play into it too much, but it does maybe make you pull it a little bit more than you expected or hyzer out a little bit early because it's in your head, but just enough.
And this looks like a great shot out of Adam here. He gets the stand up straight, carries that close to 500 feet.
Yeah, when you're standing on the tee there too, it's pretty hard to reach that bunker off the tee, but from the tee, it really does look like you don't really see this kind of bowl that you're sitting in there, and it gets kind of scary, and you kind of question it for a second. But yeah, at 721 feet, a true par 4. Clipping a little bit on the way out, and just skimming for days there as Calvin was on the ground for about 190, 200 feet.
Yeah, it still had a lot of speed on that, able to cut one of those branches off and go right on through it. He should still have a chance for birdie from there with his power.
Ricky really using all the fairway here, turning it over to the right and flexing back. Huge drive. And almost bringing that bunker into play. My goodness.
Yeah, almost like he did earlier in the round, bringing a bunker that really you shouldn't think about too much. Almost bringing it into play, but this time staying short of it. He's going to have a fairly easy approach as far as this hole goes for his birdie.
Kevin going more of this hyzer play. He really has that natural hyzer release in a lot of his discs and gets that full flight. And being on the left side here does kind of open up the approach a little bit more. You kind of are more level with it instead of maybe sitting down in the bowl.
So Calvin's still going to have close to 400 feet here probably into the pin. Got a little bit of headwind or a left to right. And this needs to not get a big flare. It looks like he does stay short of that green. Not quite in the best birdie position, but he's got a chance if he wants it.
Kevin going hyzer, skipping it up inside the circle, getting the roll. Really good use of the wind there, knowing that left to right was going to be able to push him forwards and not really have too big of a skip. So going to be inside the circle with a birdie look. Adam going to the forehand here.
Yeah, probably inside of 300 here now. He's gotten up here pretty far. He can get this to land on the green and then just kind of slide over to the...
Oh, and again, skipping out of bounds. And that's surprising too, disking down to that kind of approach speed disc, but just that angle just a little bit off and kind of match the hill and just kind of sped it up down as Ricky able to go to nearly a standstill backhand. A huge drive puts him just outside the bullseye.
Yeah, it does that well. I believe Adam just kind of got the nose up and the wind got a hold of it. Just all it takes is just a little bit of angle off, and that wind out here, even though it's not as prominent as it could be, it can still grab a disc pretty quickly.
Does comebacker for par.
Uh-oh.
Sit down.
It does curl and stay away from the OB.
And just when he had the momentum going, it's going to be a bogey, most likely here. And Calvin just right at the green. His putt just got pushed down so quick with that left to right.
To Adam now for the bogey. Able to connect and not have another double or triple stroke loss there. Still has lots of attackable holes here. He's going to try to get back on track. And making it look fairly easy with the birdie for Kevin Jones here. Puts him 6 down for the round.
Yeah, and that's that distance for Kevin's putt that he really can just put so much force on it and just shows that the ability that he has to get so low and just snap through that putt. It's so unique, but it works so well for him.
And Rickety making it look very easy.
Yeah. Getting
the 3 to get 2 birdies back to back after the couple bogeys. That brings us into hole 11, 369 feet. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, the par 3, anything that is not in the sand is going to be out of bounds. And these willows, and just they hang down so low. So anything right of the basket here, if you maybe go into the forehand here, if you don't turn it enough out of the hand, it really gets tough. And Ricky going to one of those orbit felons, and he does just that. Just not enough turn. Maybe the nose got up on him. And there's really not any putt from that side with how low hanging that ceiling is.
So again, we're going to have that similar wind to the last hole with the headwind, a little bit of left to right. Going to want to keep your disc further left than you originally planned, and it should push back. Kevin keeping it out there pretty well. Going to have an easy birdie look.
Yep, doing it in Kevin Jones style, slipping a little bit to park job. Calvin going to show us the backhand here. I believe a mid-range.
Yeah, with the backhand, it is a great idea to disc down to that mid-range. Even though this one is 370, it plays slightly downhill, and the wind, the way that it is, really just kind of pushes it further.
And that is definitely getting pushed further.
And just catches those last low branches. That was going to fade out and be right at the base of that. But he'll still have a look for his birdie from about circle's edge, maybe.
Yeah, he didn't push too far into it where he's blocked off, but Adam going to the forehand here, hanging this one out real wide. And I believe going full speed driver there and puts it just a little bit closer than Kevin. Great shot there from Hammis.
Yeah, Adam's really great at that slowing down his arm speed with a higher speed disc to control his distance.
As Rick's doing push-ups, trying to run the unrunnable, puts it close. But yeah, it's a really good point. It is just something he does so well and controls that speed. As Calvin does have a look here. Circle's edge. Just high there.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you're probably thinking, okay, I have a low ceiling, let me get it as high as I can, that ceiling will let me, and it should go in, and it was just an odd one where it went right on through the ceiling.
Yeah, kind of that thought, if I do hit something, I'll put it high enough where it'll still go in if it kicks down. Just a formality here for Kevin and Adam. And Kevin's got a good couple holes going here. 3 of the last 4, taking him to 7 under par.
Yeah, and this does play as the easiest hole on the course today. So a little surprising to see 2 pars as far as chase card goes, but averaging almost a full half stroke under par. And here we are at hole 12, 396 feet. Another one of those slightly nose up stalling hyzer shots. You want to push something out straight, but have that nose up, so once the speed falls, you can drift back to the left side without getting too much flare. Excuse me, there is that OB on the right side for the sidewalk, also on the left. If you don't get far enough, there's a bunker and a green that comes into play.
Yeah, and it is pretty blind off the tee. You're kind of just knowing your disc, and you're going to play the skip play like Kevin is here and letting it roll up, and that looks great. But if you do push long, you said the out of bounds, but again, that low-hanging ceiling really does come into play if you push too far. But all of our players here are definitely going to be going to the backhand.
Looks like a good line out of Adam here.
Oh, almost the perfect line.
Trying to catch some more chains. Already done it on hole 6.
It's going to be maybe just a little bit outside the circle. But yeah, I mean, just like, again, trying to just find some momentum here. Ricky going more the flex play, making sure it's going to sit a little bit more.
Yeah, this is that kind of nose-up flex I was talking about, and we have 3 fantastic shots on this hole so far.
Get a look at Ricky's form here. Walk us through it, Nathan.
Yeah, he's got that slow walk up and just all the power in the end of his shot there. You see he's got kind of the unique curl up in his arm and uses all of that at the end when he snaps his wrist forward.
Yeah, as we slow-mo too, you see he really does kind of go airborne there for a moment, a little bit more of a hop to make sure he gets that weight shift locked in. Calvin to match the rest of his card mates. This looks good as well.
A little bit inside.
Sometimes that can be pretty good. You kind of split those trees and you match the angle of the hill. You get more of a straight skip instead of more of that left side.
Yeah, and he does stay about pin height. Looks to be circle's edge or so. We'll have Adam up first.
You're trying to go 2 in a row. Great putt there for Adam. Getting closer and closer back to that par.
And Calvin able to connect as well. It's looking like we might have another star frame.
Yeah, both of our other players quite close here, and this is a good one to star frame. I mean, it can get away from you, but playing as one of the harder holes on the course, just because there's so much danger once you get onto, not necessarily danger, but there's so many things blocking you from getting a putt.
Seems like these players like the multiples of 6. They did star frame hole 6. They've got hole 12.
Yep.
Adam almost caught chains again.
The crowd was so spectacular today. Just the energy from you all was just amazing. I love you, Oregon!
As we move into hole 13, par 3, 387 feet. This came in as one of the harder holes in the course last year. A lot of different ways to attack this, but it's so treacherous when you get up here. A lot of bunkers, and you're going to see some players, that kind of hyzer flip, fairway driver, maybe even a full driver to be able to combat this wind. But another one of those ones where it's kind of this nose up out of the hand because the tee pad is tucked into that lower spot. But Kevin lining up, just trying to, go all the way over the top.
Go in.
Ricky asking for it to go in.
What? That's got to be close to 500 foot of hyzer power right there.
Yeah, that is breaking the game of disc golf a little bit.
What an incredible shot from Kevin there. This area you see before the cart path is OB as well. You have to make it across that cart path or else you go to the drop zone. And Adam with a good shot avoiding that bunker in front. And Kevin shot. He was over OB the entire time on that right side.
And Ricky kind of lining up that similar shot, it looks like, on the back side of this tee pad.
Oh my gosh.
Does not like it out of his hand, a little bit lower than Kevin's.
And fights back inbounds.
I believe he's a little bit short right.
My brain doesn't quite understand lines like that. See what Calvin goes with. This is more understandable for me. Has that hyzer stand up. This needs to make sure it carries that bunker.
It just catches the top edge and falls back in. He'll have a short one for par, but that's a pretty common play here with these bunker plays and the bunker holes, and being it as a hazard. And Adam from just outside the circle.
Yeah, I like Adam's play here. He's got a pretty safe putt. There's not too much of a chance he should go in the bunker, especially if you jam it. He has now got a turkey and fought his way back to even.
Yeah, that's the Adam Hammis that we know, one of the greatest putters we have in our sport right now, and just getting that momentum going. First turn of the year, shaking it off here on Chase Card, and 3 in a row, like you said, starting to get it going.
Yeah, and you see he's got the smile on his face, in good spirits. Ricky able to connect. They're going over the top, OB the whole way, didn't like it. Gets a birdie.
And Calvin for par after just finding this hazard. Yeah, it feels like a birdie, but definitely with that hazard there, it's pretty common here. This hole probably playing pretty close to par, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's playing 0.17 over par, so third most difficult, just because it is a tough 2 to get regardless of everybody on this card only throwing 2 shots. Tough 2 to get, and this card played it very well. Hole 14, 798 feet. Got to get over this cart path and avoid the bunker on the right side. You could stand up and get over there a little bit too much. But we do have a tailwind today rather than headwind. So the main difficulty from this hole after you get out, you need to get about 400 feet at least off of the tee shot so you can get another carry 380 feet to make it over the OB green in front of the basket.
Yeah, with the conditions like today, I think this tee shot is more important than anything, because if you don't get far enough out there, that green can come into play and the rollaways back onto it. But this looks a huge shot from Kevin.
Great shot.
And Kevin also 3 in a row. We've been talking about Adam coming back, but Kevin's got a great round going at -9 through 13.
And Adam with a nice stand-up on this one as well. That's pushing really far forward. Both of these players going to be in a good spot to attack for a birdie. Drifting a little further left than the other two, but it shouldn't really come into too much trouble.
Unless he lands right near that tree.
And that's the tree.
Yeah, that tree just tends to pull all of those like 450-ish shots as you get a full thing. But that, again, that golf style, ground we have, it just pulls it all left.
Yeah, and these little trees you see Calvin going over right now, that's kind of what make you end up on that left side. You need to get up over top of those to take them out of play.
Calvin hits the tree, but he does get the roll back.
Fortunate bounce off of there, yeah.
And about those little trees, you give this a couple more years here at Wildhorse, that's going to be some interesting gaps down the fairway. Adam approaches here.
You can see how reserved that throw looked. You could tell that he was really taking a lot of power off to not overshoot this.
And Ricky with just a really interesting lie here, trying to just see if he has a full swing.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be going high speed, trying to go out wide and get a lot of fast skip. And that is he got great movement on that.
Oh, and maybe too fast of a disc as he goes out of bounds.
But yeah, not expecting. It didn't seem like he was expecting himself to be able to get there and got too much momentum going from that standstill.
Yeah, trying to kind of over-rotated, pull it across a little bit. Calvin from nearly the exact same distance.
This looks great.
Yep. Really good shot there from Calvin. But yeah, it's really surprising to see that much power come out of a standstill. But I mean, Ricky has all the power in the world.
Yeah, a lot of his power comes from that curl that he has, and that
doesn't really need the weight shift as much. And I believe Kevin did slide out of bounds as well. Oh, and just off the top there for Ricky to save. Yeah, and Kevin did. Fortunate.
Oh, and that's such a low ceiling putt right there. That was a great bid to even have a chance to get in, and pretty unfortunate little spit out or through bounce thing there.
Adam from a knee makes good 4 in a row, finding himself under par for the first time in the round.
Yeah.
What a fight it's been so far for Amos.
So many bogey strokes this round. To be able to collect himself and fight back under pars, showing good things.
Calvin for birdie as well.
Not a problem. Moves him to 7 down for the round. Oh, no. And something that we've seen from Ricky before, just something about...
He's just hitting the rings, it feels like, when that nose down just over the top.
That's unfortunate.
No,
that's
PDGA Event Support Helpline. Sure, we get the... Wait, is it we get those all the time now? What am I saying now? Sure, you just need it. Sure, you just need a waiver from the director. From the director. Just need to get a waiver from Big Dog. Sarah, we've been over this. Sarah, we've been over this. Sarah, we've been over this. Does anyone talk to you about Dogecoin? Doge. Diamond hands.
I'm gonna have you.
To move into hole 15, par 3, 439 feet. One of the harder holes here just because of the shape and the distance. I'm going to see a lot of players, if you have this over 400 foot forehand, it's definitely a good play. Turnover backhand is another one. And this basket actually has been moved up and out of this kind of bowl you see next to the tree, really making putting a little bit difficult and leaving a lot of our players outside the circle where in previous years they were. And Adam just low out of the hand here.
And yeah, fortunate that didn't cut roll out onto that cart path.
It's a big backhand turnover from Calvin. But
And this looks too far right out of the hand. But
Yeah.
does end up staying in bounds, it looks like.
Right, you hear him tell himself to hang it out a little bit wider as Kevin's going to show us that big forehand distance with a more of an understable disc, a little bit of a hyzer flip.
Yeah, this is a tough hole to reach with the forehand. It plays all of that 439 feet. And just so much snap. Ricky needs to get a good flare.
Yeah, he kind of caught the edge of the top of that little hill there and just slowed it down. But again, with that new pin placement, those shots would be kind of in that circle's edge-ish range, maybe a little bit outside, and now you find yourself outside circle 2.
Yeah, just that's what makes the forehand shot so difficult. It's so far away that once you start to fade, your disc doesn't have enough speed to really get that momentum to move to the right.
Yeah, it's a good recovery shot there from Adam to put himself there for par. Here's that look, edge of circle 2, and just left there for Kevin.
Yeah, good bid. Even with this basket up on the hill on the right side, it's still kind of a collection point around here. It's not one of the ones that you're real nervous about a roll away if you hit some metal.
And Calvin, after turning over, did flex back a little bit, getting all the way down here. Hitting the base. And like you said, those rolls don't go too far with where this basket's placed, kind of in this little bowl area. Adam to save par after the low shot off the tee. Kind of.
And bouncing around, dancing a little bit, keeping it interesting, but still, as you kind of expect on this hole, a bunch of pars. It did average 3.01. Our card has played it at a 3.00. I don't think they could do the 0-1, so about as even as you can get.
Yeah, only 12% of the field picking up the birdie here. And I mean, just so many pars. Like you said, that pin change, and it's moving to hole 16.
Yeah, 888 feet, par 4, and very difficult to get the birdie on this one. We do have a slight tailwind today, so some of these bigger arms do have the opportunity to attack. You need to get 450, 500 feet off of this tee shot for these guys to comfortably attack this green. Most players in the field will be throwing their second shot short of that green and then pitching up further forward.
Yeah, and last year this actually was a par 5. So being that it's a par 4 now, it's a difficult one. It's the longest par 4 we have on the course.
And it's slightly uphill the entire way, and then the basket is elevated at once you cross over the ball golf green.
Adam, just a little bit of an early release, going to find himself a big roll at the end, too. Does stay in bounds, though.
Calvin making the correction, getting it out wider. This is more in the middle of the fairway where you'd like to be at. He'll have a decision to make whether he wants to attack from there or not.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the wind if you're able to see it. And at this point in the round 2, the sun's starting to maybe come down a little bit so that the depth changes a little bit.
Yeah, you're looking right at the sun, looking towards this basket right here. It's pretty bright. Hard to see.
Really low out of the hand, but again, just skipping really far down the fairway. Some frustration there and definitely not hitting the line he wanted to. But again, kind of in that spot where you could go it if you need to, but he's got a good round going so far. Max distance out of Ricky Wysocki here.
Yeah, this needs to fight back. And a good little ground play to kick it back left immediately. He still could be a little pinched off, though.
And some weird footing here. It's interesting, close to a lot of these paths, you have this kind of gravel mixture, sand, and the footing can get really slippery.
Yeah, and these paths are very slippery also, so
Yep.
you have to be careful with that run-up.
Yeah, and Kevin just going to be left side, just really not able to be
Smart
in
play
too big
there.
of a position to attack low out of the hand. And, being able to even be able to do that is get it pin high.
And Adam over here close to the cart path as well.
Yeah, a little culvert giving him some trouble. And he is full committed here, driver in the hand, and this looks perfect.
Wow. What an incredible shot. That's close to 500 feet, I think.
Ricky on the right side here having to go to a big turnover. But that wind not letting it go and it taking a huge cut roll.
And curls around in time to not catch
Oh, it's still curling.
that OB cart path. Gonna make another circle,
It's still curling.
circling around like the dogs do when they want to lay down.
Calvin with the driver in hand as well, pushing for this pin.
This needs to stay up. And it does stay up, and he will now be in a great spot for this birdie.
Yeah, with that tailwind, definitely you need to give it that height. Really a big chance to maybe get pushed down into that water, but Calvin makes a good correction. And Ricky, after the just weird spot he was off the tee, going to be laying up there for par. Kevin as well.
So Calvin with a birdie look here. The second most difficult hole of the day. No problem at all, showing the distance that he has and the control. Able to get it close to 900 feet in just 2 shots.
Yeah, I think that describes Calvin really well. Distance and control, just the happy medium of the two, able to lean on one more or the other if he needs to, and great birdie there. And Adam as well, such a good birdie from the weird footing, run up and just, wow.
So 17% of the field did birdie this hole. That's a little more than I was expecting, but there was 26% that were over par. So very difficult hole. Great job on all these
We've
threes.
seen them in the hands of professionals, helping them compete at the highest level. Whale Sacks is a female-owned small business, handmade in the USA. We are dedicated to outstanding grip for all disc golfers.
Moving into hole 17, par 3, 457 feet. This was a very hard hole for the field last year, and this year definitely going to be playing similar. Very, very long par 3. Really take your most furthest flying disc that you can trust to put a lot of power into. Turning it over left is going to find the out of bounds. Turning over right is going to have a lot of these small trees and shrubs.
Yeah, for this right-handed backhand, you really want to get something that's going to go flat 430 feet and then just softly finish. Some of these players might have the opportunity to throw a fairway driver.
And Adam Ham is checking up, hitting the little hill.
Oh, that makes me sick. That's so good.
455 feet perfectly on a rope there. Making Nathan ill here in the booth.
And Calvin doing what I was talking about, being able to disc down which is such an advantage on this hole.
That phrase disc down on a 457-foot par 3, Calvin Heimburg thinks as he fades back, this looks great as well.
Yeah, and not having that high-speed driver right there to hit the ground and flare up and possibly go over OB on the left side.
Let's get a look at the form here. That big reach back.
Yeah, big reach back and a lot faster than the other players in that pull through and gets the good snap on it.
Yeah, and he's known for his footwork too. Just some crazy things happen as he just snaps through that heel and just using every bit of his body, the kind of lanky build that he has to get it all the way there. And just a little bit too much turn out of the hand for Ricky, getting caught up on that right side, all these weird shrubs. Gonna have some work left here as the rest of the cart is pretty much parked.
Yeah, that is the safer mistake to make. You don't have that OB stroke to play with, but it does get a little sticky over there.
Lower line here for Kevin, asking it to get left. The angle it's hitting the ground, though, it's going to go straight. He'll be pin high.
Yeah, good distance on that one. Just didn't quite get it high enough where it'll fade.
And Ricky from a knee. Not a lot to go here.
This looks good. Oh, my goodness. And he throws it in.
Oh, my goodness. Let's go to the rewind. Forehand nose up the whole way and cans it for the par from over 100 feet.
What an incredible shot there. Putting Ricky to 14 down now for the round.
God, really our first highlight throw-in of the season. And taking Ricky to minus 14 on the tournament. What a way to take yourself into the difficult 18. Oh, no, and Kevin just right. He does stay safe. The relief, that body language was so tense.
He gets the safe call, but this is close to circle's edge over here now. He's got a tough comebacker.
And just slides out.
Yeah, we've seen his disc do that a couple times this round now, and that's a weird feeling on that one. You feel like those should go in.
Yeah, and after such a good round going so far, picking up a couple bogeys here in these past ones, and Calvin finally getting to his drive for birdie.
That's how you want to do it.
Yeah, and Calvin quietly, I mean, minus 9 so far in the round here.
And how about Adam starting? He was 5 over par after 5 holes, and he is now 3 down after just
6 down on the back nine.
Yeah,
so far.
incredible back nine that he's putting together to keep himself in this after what would take a lot of people out of it.
Yep.
That moves us straight into hole 18. Another difficult par 4 we've got here, 720 feet. You've got a decision to make whether you want to lay up to about this area but a little further left, or if you want to go over this sidewalk to try to land on this area and make your upshot a bit easier. Once you've gotten to there, good luck landing on this green. You've got OB left, OB right, OB short.
OB long.
Yeah, OB long, and if you get too close, it's very possible to roll away also, so...
Yeah, with the distance of a lot of our players, I expect most of them to be going to that second kind of island, but that is a small landing zone and really need to match in the angle.
Yeah, this is a scary shot for that right-handed backhand. I think going for this second island here, great shot from Adam. Going for this second island really plays better for the forehand, in my opinion. You can hang it out wide left and skip around. But Adam, showing you how it's done.
Yeah, I expect Calvin to match here. Just a little bit higher, and this is where it can get scary. That wind comes into play, but this looks like it's digging great, just even a little bit shorter than Adam's.
And yeah, in previous years, we haven't really seen the players attack this hole like this. You see more of that layup play going for the longer upshot.
I think it just shows year after year, everybody is just throwing further.
Yeah, and this has come out a bit left.
Wow, I was lucky.
You hear Ricky say, wow, that was lucky. And yes, he does stay safe and sticks it really in a pretty great spot on that high left side. Going to have some flat footing as our other players going to have a little more of an uphill run up. Kevin Jones not one to lay up, going for the second island as well.
And again, throwing a much flippier disc than the rest of the group, and throwing that hyzer stand-up shot makes it across to a good spot.
But again, this weird footing, this kind of mixed gravel, hard-packed grass that is slick next to these car paths. Yeah, you can see not even being able to turn his heel there, but this looks great.
Yeah, gets a good shot off there. He's inside the circle. That'll be kind of a scary putt.
And you can see Ricky here. Really if you could drop your disc anywhere on this fairway, it's right here.
He didn't like his shot, and he's carried. That's way further than I thought he got.
Yeah.
What a shot. And that's great also. That's going to be right up there.
Formality there for Wysocki to finish out the round. Calvin going mid-range.
I think he's going to have some of this weird footing. You saw him kind of get shorter when he backed up there, kind of uphill run up. And gets a nice stand up on that low sliding shot's exactly what you want coming into this green, nice and flat.
Great way to finish it out, and should take him into double digits for the round.
So 6 and 12 we had a star frame. On 18 so far we've got 3 inside the circle.
Can they do it? Can they perfect the trifecta of star frames?
Oh, this looks great. We've got all 4 players inside the circle here to finish out the
Playing
round.
as the hardest hole on the day. Last year here at the Las Vegas Challenge, also the hardest hole. And Ricky to start off that star frame, and he cans it. Really good momentum, just up and down there for Rick. Only, sitting around the, minus 15 to finish it out. So maybe not the exact round he was wanting, but
Yeah, he had that clean front 9, and then the back just threw him a couple curveballs.
Yeah.
But able to bounce back well. Still shot 1 down on the back. Kevin Jones bouncing back from that rough bogey on the last
similar
hole.
story. He had that couple of just the putting slipping through a couple times when he wasn't expecting it, and Adam close enough to take this home.
So we're looking good on the
Trifecta star frame.
Intervals of 6. You've got 6, 12, and 18. The card's going to go 12 down for those 3 holes. Just random stuff,
Yeah, there's random things we sit here thinking about, but the hardest hole on the course here.
Wow.
And they star frame it to finish out the round as we check in with our back
Look
9
at
results.
this back 9 from Adam Hammis. Look at all that green. But
Oh my goodness. The momentum shift that has happened as we check into this leaderboard. And Calvin Heimburg tied at the top with the young gun Gannon Burr.
yeah, and Drew Gibson shooting a fire 13 down that round. Just some incredible shooting out here on the Innova course. We've got a 3rd course to tackle now in the round on Saturday, the factory store course. Even longer layout than
It's hard to
Innova.
think you have more distance to come after seeing the difficulty here. The big arm's going to feast, and there is a lot at the top that are those big arms here at the Vegas Challenge that tends to happen.
Yeah, so excited to check out that 3rd course. Once we wrap up that 3rd course, we do move back to Innova for the 4th round. So get another look at this one as well.
Yeah, thank you for joining us here for the round 2 back 9. Be sure to like and subscribe at Gatekeeper Media. And my name is Mitch Phillips, Nathan Queen. We will see you for the 3rd round here at the Las Vegas Challenge 2022.
We'll see you guys out there.